Attorney Chris Stewart is joining me now. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. I watched all of your statement. I heard what Justin Miller, the other attorney, had to say. Both of you very, very strong, very, very powerful. You were visibly frustrated by what has happened in Atlanta over the past 24 hours. Tell us why you're so frustrated over what has happened. Do you still have faith that the Atlanta mayor, that the Atlanta Police Department will act quickly, decisively to investigate the killing of Rayshard Brooks?
Well, it's frustration and hurt. I mean, think about how long you and I have been talking about these cases and covering them. You covered Walter Scott 5 years ago, and we're right back in Walter Scott Part 2. It's frustration because I don't want to lose hope or faith in the police department, but at a certain point, enough is enough. I'm one of those people, as you know, that I respect law enforcement, but I'm not respecting how it is affecting African Americans. It's going on too long, and it has to change. Everybody has to get off the sidelines. This isn't about being anti-cop. This is anti-loss of life, loss of fathers, and enough is enough.
Give us the context of what you're learning about how this shooting unfolded. We've heard that Rayshard Brooks was simply in his car. He fell asleep in the drive-through. Cars were going around him at this Wendy's. And then pick up what happened based on everything you've learned over the past 24 hours. Chris, pick up what happened next.
Yeah, we've been talking to witnesses, and we went to the scene. It was a non-violent, non-criminal situation. I mean, he fell asleep in the drive-thru, which happens to people all across this country all the time. Witnesses said that he did not get a field sobriety test. It was a discussion with him and the officers, and suddenly they decided to try and put his hands behind his back. And of course, like any person, he's wondering why. And he, turned around like, why are y'all trying to arrest me? And then it went from there. And that's the problem with where young African-American males always end up dead from nonviolent situations where a discussion could have ended this. Why not talk to him as a human being and say, hey, buddy, maybe you had too much to drink. Leave your car here. Take Uber. I've seen it happen before, but that didn't happen. Instead, they got physical. He ran. He did have the taser, but according to law, a taser is not a lethal weapon. So he didn't have a lethal weapon in his hand. He was running with the taser, and then they shot him. It's just, it didn't need to happen. It didn't need to happen.
Yeah, I mean, he when you see the video, we're just showing our viewers, Chris, the video, he seems to turn around and fire that taser. Did he actually fire it? Because we do see a little flash there.
No, we don't have any information on that. We actually don't know if that was the first shot where the glare of the taser, which has a light, caught him getting shot the first time. But either way it goes, a taser is not a deadly weapon according to law enforcement. I've had cases where officers have used tasers on my clients, and their defense is it's not a lethal weapon. So you can't have it both ways. You did not have to kill him. You could have tracked him down. You had his license. You had his information. You had backup coming. Why kill him? That's just what hurt. Why kill him?
When I was watching your news conference, Chris, I really was moved when you said, and I'm paraphrasing you now, I don't know what justice is anymore. Just elaborate a little bit for our viewers on what you meant by that.
It's just, well, I mean, we just got back. We also represent Gianna Floyd, George Floyd's daughter. We represent Ahmaud Arbery as Georgia counsel. I don't know what to tell the world anymore about justice. We keep saying we want justice. I don't even know what it is anymore. We want people fired. Do we want someone arrested? We're losing hope. And when you lose hope, you have this chaos. I mean, of course, I don't want people burning down their own communities and burning down anything, but you lose hope. And what's the answer? There has to be a total reform of policing. The first thing that has to be drilled into officers' mind is de-escalation, community above a gun. It has to be that way. Maybe if we start over from scratch, whatever it has to be, change the standards, the requirements. Police officers are the only job in this country where they can take your life, liberty, and freedom. It's the most powerful job in this country.
Yeah, and I was really moved, and I'm sure our viewers were as well, Chris, when we heard you speak about Rayshard Brooks' family, one of his daughters actually celebrating her 8th birthday this weekend. You spent time with the family. Tell us about that.
Well, just imagine, let's take color out of it. A human being is sitting in a living room with a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old climbing on them, a 8-year-old in her birthday dress, waiting on her dad to come and pick her up to finish the birthday party they started yesterday. And knowing that he's not coming in that door and that he died from a nonviolent offense. Yes, he shouldn't have hit the officer. Yeah, they tussled, but he ran away and should have just been arrested for whatever it may be, but not murdered. You cannot be a judge, jury, and executioner because you lost a scuffle. We've seen too many videos where if he was white, that wouldn't have happened. And it's frustrating playing with someone's children again in a situation where their dad should simply be alive, but for the decision of someone who pulled a trigger instead of having a conversation in the beginning. So I don't want to hear anything about what he shouldn't have fought them, he shouldn't have done this. They should have had a conversation with him in the beginning. And they should have let him run and catch him. And we didn't need Walter Scott Part 2.
Did that little 8-year-old girl who's celebrating her birthday this weekend, did she know her dad is dead?
No, she doesn't understand. She thought that he was going to show up at any moment. Her mother, who y'all will hear from Monday, tried to, generally explain, but, children don't understand that concept fully. And it's just sad that all his children, the 3 girls and his little boy, are going to have to watch their dad be shot while running away when they get older. Just like Gianna's going to have to watch her father have a knee put on her neck. Just like DeAndre Phillips in Atlanta his child is going to have to watch her father be killed when he tried to run. Just like Desmond Marrow in Georgia is going to have to watch over and over again him being slammed while handcuffed for no reason. And I could go on and on, but there's no